All right, everybody, we are live. I would like to introduce myself. This is my, I've been on my brother's YouTube before, and he asked me to come back on his YouTube and grace the stage. So, and I'm a little nervous because I haven't been back over here in years. It's been a couple years since I've been on my brother's podcast and my brother's YouTube because I had to take some time to just get my mind right, get myself right. Because I don't like to come to people unless I know I'm coming correct. I'm coming with intention, I'm coming with balance in myself. And that's why I wanted to come tonight to kind of get y'all to understand that we need solutions right now. We need solutions to a lot of things that's happening right now. We need solutions to a lot of the things that's sitting on our hearts. We need solutions to a lot of things that are going to evolve us because I hear a lot of us talking about 2024 going to be my best year. But we can't have our best year in 2024 if we don't remove and go into the things that happened in 2023 and the years before that. Because we're dealing with a lot of issues. And I'm talking about a lot because even when you think you're your strongest self and you trying to handle it and stand on business, you recognize that if you don't go to the root, if you don't find the root to this, then it's just going to be difficult. You just going to be trying, you just going to be running into obstacles forever. You just going to be challenged over and over again with the same issues that keep circulating, that keep just moving into your life and never moving out of it. So tonight I wanted to talk about some of the things that just be on my heart and my mind because I'm always hearing people talking about Delulu is the solution. And I did a live on this on my YouTube. And peace family, I know I'm looking at my phone and I'm recording. I'm looking at my computer at the same time. So if you see me looking over, it's because I'm just trying to look and see who's in the audience and interact with you guys. I haven't done this. I've been putting my dad. I'm the one that's behind the scenes for my dad, Pop Keys. So you would think I would have figured it out by now, but I haven't. So anyway, so this show is for everybody because I feel like men need to hear perspectives from a woman, and women need to hear perspectives from a man. That's why you have my father. That's why you have my brothers. And I'm someone who does deep observation into the mind. I'm someone who observes everyone around me. I'm someone who can literally see the energy and the frequency and the atmosphere and the things that we just might need to tap into if we want to take ourselves to that next level. Like I'm someone who I do some inner work. When I tell you everything I say, I really stand on business. Like I really do the work because I don't like to put anything out there. And I mean, I don't like to put anything out there unless I really feel and connect to it. Because what's the point? If you don't believe in what you say, if you don't know it to be true, if we just saying stuff because it sound good, it's got to come from my heart. And so I'm coming on tonight. I ain't got no speech. I'm just saying this is off the top of my dome. Um, I want to talk about Delulu and what that means for anybody who came into the live. It's the thought of being delusional inside of your mind. It's the thought of creating a version of yourself that necessarily is not here in the physical presence. And like I said, I went into this more on my actual Instagram for Unisa, but I think that it is absolutely necessary for us to be Delulu because you are the architect of your own universe. Right now, it's you versus you. It's you in this mind. It's you in this subconscious mind. It's you building a foundation right now for who you are, what you want, and how you're going to move forward in life. Yes, you can get programming from this person here and this person there, and they can tell you all their ideas and all their thoughts. But at the end of the day, it's you who's signing off on that thought. It's you who's saying, you know what, I'm going to choose to stick to this thought, embed it within my mind, and I'm going to move forward in that. And so I've learned over time that if you want something to cultivate into your reality, you have to be firm in yourself right here in this moment. You have to literally say to yourself, I'm good in this moment. I'm happy in this moment. I'm beautiful in this moment. Because if you're trying to architect a reality where you want something to change, then you have to look at you in the same energy that you want to create within yourself. And that's why I wanted to go into the Delulu, because it's like most of us want things for ourselves. Most of us want wealth. Most of us want the nice car. Most of us want the nice travels. Most of us want a beautiful relationship. But how do you get to a beautiful relationship? How do you get to a beautiful home if you don't have the vision of it in your mind? If you don't know what it is? And yes, you can travel through life slowly, moving through life. You can move slowly. You can go pick out a house and it can have things that you like. But what about if you actually knew what that house looked like before you even started to look for it? What if you knew the idea of, I want big windows in my house. I want this type of floor. I want this type of kitchen. I want it to be set up like this. So when you know you go out to look for that house, you know that you found the one. You know that you found what you've been seeking. And so we come up with terms on social media, and sometimes I think these terms get so oversaturated that it makes it seem like, yeah, you're being delusional. That's not real. But I know for 100% fact that a lot of us have conjured something in our minds and has came into reality just that quickly, just because we did a set it and forget it. And I know all of us have literally thought about a person at one time in our life and they called us. I know that we've thought about a certain thought or a phrase or something, and it'll just pick up. And somebody else will say, I'm not talking about social media picking up on what you say, because it's obvious that they got something recording us. I'm talking about people in your life. I'm talking about you are literally energy. You are an actual frequency. So when you speak on things, when you stand on things in yourself, and you're firm in that belief, I'm telling you, you got to be so firm. You got to be so firm in yourself. So firm in yourself that it's not a belief anymore. It's a knowing in who you are. So if you want something, you got to know it's for you. And you can't keep looking backwards. And how do you know when something is for you? Because you will get confirmation of it. You will get confirmation of it. Something gonna build inside of your spirit so much that where it's like, this keeps calling to me. This keeps flashing across my mind. This keeps coming into my head. And so I wanted to dive deep into that thought, because so many of us are in places that we don't want to be in. But why are you there? Why are you there? So many of us are in places because we don't see another option. We don't see our way out of it. And so we think, I got to stand in this and take it until it just brings me pain, until it brings me suffering enough, until I move myself out of it. Until I got to move myself out of it. Why I got to be pushed out of the way? Why do I got to be pushed into a path? And why can't I just walk into the path? Why don't we just choose? Because, we all heard the saying that, you get the freedom of choice. If we get the freedom of choice, then why don't we ever think, well, why why don't I just choose my reality then? Why don't I just choose the mood I want to be in? Why don't I just choose the life I want to live? And why don't I just put down everything else? Why don't I just put down everything else? Why am I constantly trying to pick up things that God didn't tell me to grab? Why am I constantly trying to be in relationships that God didn't even put forth for me? I know there's one of us who is in a relationship right now trying to make it work, trying to get somebody to love you, trying to get somebody to love you, trying to get someone to see you. And you are this beautiful, magical person. You are this beautiful person with this big heart and this big love. And you trying to give it to somebody who don't even want to receive it. They don't even want to pick it up. They ain't even trying to give you the love back. You just giving out your energy. Because you got to realize some people will stand so close to your light because it's the closest to light that they have. You are the closest version to the light that they can connect to. So of course they gonna stay with you. Of course they not going nowhere. And you just thinking, oh, I gotta keep giving them all my love when they wasn't going nowhere in the first place because you the furthest thing to the light. They like flies to the light. They not going nowhere. And you wondering, why am I suffering? Because you ain't got no balance in that situation. You ain't got no balance in that situation. You just around energy vampires all day long. And I'm talking to the chosen ones. I'm talking to the ones who know who they are. Somewhere inside of you, you know who you are. You know who you are. You know, I got a beautiful love. I've been this pure soul since I was a child. I know who I am. I might have had circumstances in my life that have gotten me to go through a certain set of things that might look to the world like I'm not that good person. You might have went through all types of hell in your life, but you know your heart. But then you keep chasing energy, chasing, just chasing and chasing energy that is literally trying to get you to see. And I talked about this today. We chase energy that repels us. We chase it and it repels us. Why? Ask yourself why. Because that energy is a mirror for you to see the energy and the love that you need to pour back inside of yourself. That's it. That's the message. It's really that simple. It's really that simple. I know you in spaces where you feel unloved, where you feel like nobody sees the details of who I am. Nobody sees that kind gesture that is me. Nobody sees the things that I do and the sacrifice that I make. Nobody sees the suffering that I'm going through. And you sitting here alone. You alone, even though you got this big heart and you got people out here making you doubt yourself. You doubting yourself? If you doubt yourself, then what you think that's going to attract in your life? Someone to help you further doubt yourself. And what that is that repelling energy is trying to get you to see, the only person that can get me to reroute myself is me. The only person I can trust in right now is me. If you don't trust in your own self, ain't nobody gonna trust you. If you don't trust in your own self, if you don't believe in your own self, if you don't believe that you're an attractive person, how dare you want somebody to just make you feel like what you want for yourself, but that you haven't even given to yourself? You ain't never looked at yourself and admired yourself. You ain't never looked at your skin and said, oh, baby, you flawless. Oh, you beautiful. You ain't never talked over yourself in a certain type of way. I know for a fact right now, it's so many of us in here that look at ourselves in the mirror like you don't even recognize yourself. You don't like your body. You don't like how you feel inside of your body. You don't like your skin. You looking at other people's beauty. You can admire another person's beauty, but you can't see what's inside of you. Because how do you see beauty? They say beauty is in the eye of the beholder. Beauty is something that you cultivate within yourself. So, are you cultivating that energy inside of yourself? And you wonder, how can I recognize such a beautiful person, but I don't sense the same energy inside of myself? You ever recognize somebody's glow? You ever see somebody's glow and you're like, that's a beautiful person. And people can tell you that you're beautiful all day long and you don't even believe it. People will tell you, girl, you fine. Girl, you beautiful. Girl, you ain't got to lose weight. Girl, you look good. And you just kind of like, but I can lose some weight. But I can do this and but I can do that. But I need to work on this. And you're like, damn, when am I going to believe in myself? Like, really ask yourself the questions. I like to get into the details of me. It took me 35 years to get to a point where I realized I didn't know how to look at myself. I was like, God damn. And I asked God to show me. And that's one thing you got to do. You got to ask. You got to ask for what you want. I mean, you got to literally physically ask for what you want. You got to stop being so goddamn quiet. You got to know what you want. You got to ask for what you want. You got to be clear and intentional on what you want for yourself. There is no more time for walking into year after year and not knowing what you want, not knowing who you are, sacrificing all of your time and energy, and it's just going outside of yourself. Because everything that you see is you. Everything that you see in your reality is just you. We all come from the same source. God put us all in a womb. We all came out the same way. We all came out of a woman. There was all a transference of energy. So you got to recognize that if I don't close in on me, because it's time to close in now. It's time to get close. Get close. If God's sitting you down right now, it's okay. He's trying to get you close to him. I don't care if you don't believe in God or what you believe in, but I know it's going to resonate with you because some of us are suffering mentally, don't know how to deal with these thoughts. We thinking we want to talk to somebody, but nobody hears you because it's time for you to hear you. It's time for you to channel your power. It's time for you to get down to the root of you. It's time for you to sit still and say, you know what? It's time for me to pray. It's time for me to talk to God a little louder now because ain't nobody hearing me. You ain't even heard your own voice. You ain't even heard your own voice say, I love you to yourself. And we think that it's something weird about that. Saying I love you to yourself. You ever wrote yourself a letter? You ever wrote down, I love you, Kazima? I appreciate you. I'm in a state of gratitude for you. You keep breathing, you keep pushing, you keep moving every single day. And you ain't never really heard the words how you want to hear the words. We be seeking it. We be seeking it, chasing it. Like, I just want somebody to say, I love you in a way I want to hear it. I want somebody to just be gentle with me in the way I want to feel it. But then I have to take out the time to recognize that I had to learn how to do this for myself. And this is for all of us because I know, especially for men, getting into your feelings is difficult. Getting into communication is difficult. And that's why a lot of men are seeking that from women and wanting that exchange of love and feeling because there's somewhere that's empty. I know. I grew up with 7 brothers. It was rough. It was rough, the things that we saw. It was rough. Even our communication now, it ain't we learning, we growing as we get older. But I'm speaking on men because this is just something I observed. Brothers, when you take out the time to nurture yourself and to choose what's best for you, everything in your life is going to change. Everything in your life is going to change. It is something it's sad to see broken men who've never been loved on. You deserve love. You know your heart. You deserve it. You deserve to be loved on how you want to be loved on. Not just chasing an energy because it's beautiful or it's attractive. It's a trophy for you. But in order for you to get down to the root of yourself, you you have to face yourself. You're not going to get that love you want if you don't face yourself. If you don't have that conversation, the hard stuff with yourself. If you don't get down to the trauma that you've endured in your life, if you don't get down to the anger issues that you have in your life, down to the pain and the things that you've witnessed, the relationship that you've seen that didn't make no sense to you, that cultivated and made you who you are. I'm speaking to all of us. All of us have seen relationships, especially from our parents, where we share 50% of each of these people's DNA, but these two people who are our parents are fighting and they have this broken energy. So what you think that does to a child? What you think that does to a child? The two halves of myself are fighting and at war with each other. And if I keep growing in my life, trying to get to love without going inside of that issue and talking to it and looking at it. Because I got to look at it now. I got to look at, I saw my parents fight. I'm going to keep it real with you. Okay? My parents fought. Those things, that energy conjured up inside of you somewhere. And yeah, you told yourself, I'll never attract a man who will put his hands on me, or I'll never put my hands on a woman. But that energy never went nowhere. It's still inside of you. It transformed into something else because energy is neither created nor destroyed. It just went somewhere inside of yourself and then it hid within yourself. It hid. It went deep down up in there because as you a child, you're learning. You're learning. You're learning. You don't know no better. You might be grown in your head, but you're still learning life through the eyes of your parents. You're learning life through the eyes of the world. So if nobody took the time to nurture you and to teach you what's good for you, then you have to figure out, how do I place this energy within myself and what do I do with it? Nobody taught you how to psychoanalyze yourself and how to place this and how to grow and transmute energy. Ain't no, you ain't learned transmutation until just now. We ain't even learned the word until just now, until this season of our lives. We're relearning, damn, I want to do better for my own children, so I really got to get to the root of myself. So I'm looking at myself, I'm observing myself. There's pain there. I looked at myself and I said, you know what? When I was a child, I became controlling. Not controlling in the way of where I got anger issues, controlling in the way of I just wanted to make everything nice. I wanted to be the one who softened everything, softened the blows, softened the energy. And so I didn't realize I took on this motherly role, this role to where I became controlling in a sense of I just want good energy. I just wanted to exist. So I absorbed all the negative energy from everybody else. And I was absorbing it my entire life. And I'm like, damn, I've been absorbing energy where somebody might say something to me, and because I know if I say something back to them, they gonna fly off the handles. They can't take the truth. They can't take the truth. They can't handle it. So what you think that caused within me? It caused me to have an extreme, like a boundaries, where people saying stuff to me where I'm just like taking it, and it's just hitting my heart. And I'm like, God damn, at a certain time in yourself, you start to feel that shit. You get to a certain point where you're like, okay, I didn't took enough now. Especially when you get to the matters of the heart, especially when you start getting into relationships, it all manifests. It all manifests. If you think you healed, baby, if you got childhood issues and trauma and things that you've seen, baby, it's gonna come out into your relationships. It's gonna play out the same roles, just in a different way. It's gonna just look a little different, but you're gonna feel the same energy. You still gonna be fighting. You still gonna be at war. You still gonna be dealing with something, and you trying to wonder, how do I get to my heaven? How do I get to my best self? How do I cultivate that energy into my life? How? The first thing I have to do is ask myself, how? How do I get to look at myself in the mirror? I said, I looked at I looked at myself one day in the mirror. This was about 3 years ago. I said to myself, I want to be able to look at myself without looking in a mirror. And that was a profound thing for me because I felt out of control. I felt like everything in me was like floating around in the universe and nothing had a place. Nothing had a place. Everything felt out of place. Mind, body, spirit felt so out of place that I'm like, okay, this has to be a breaking point. This is my breaking point. I cannot go any further. I couldn't go any further. I was in a marriage, and I said in that moment in time, I said, oh, this is over. I have to let this go. Because if I go any further into this, it's going to break me. And I felt so out of control that I didn't know what to do with my mind. And that's what I knew because I'm so in my mind. I'm a Capricorn, y'all. Like I think God be trying to give Capricorns mental issues. Like we got to deal with our mind all day long. And so I had to cease and desist. It was like deceased letter. This gotta go. This gotta go. And before that, friendships have to go. One thing about me, honey, if I cut something off, it's gone. It's cut off. It's dead weight. It's gone. It don't come back. And so I had to make that decision because I felt myself going into the extreme mode of myself where it felt like dangerous territory and I didn't know what the hell to do up in here. I literally felt like I was in the dark. I literally felt like I was in the dark. I'm like, the energy outside felt like it was dark. It felt like it was trying to take over. Like I'm a fearless woman where I'm like, I feel fear. I feel this energy. I don't know what's happening, but something feels like it's trying to swallow me whole. And so I had to cease and desist. I literally gave up my house, gave up my marriage, and I took myself on a journey. And I traveled and I did some work. When I say I did some work, I had to let things go. And I found myself and I recognized that I had zero boundaries. And I started saying no to everybody and to everything. Because it was like if I don't get to this part of myself, then everything in this reality is just going to control me and I'll just be crazy. I'll be crazy. I literally was like, oh, this must be the part where if you don't make a decision now, you're going to be in a mental hospital. This is how people get to that place where it's like, oh, I didn't let the world come over my head so much to where I don't even know anymore. When you don't know, when you just walking in the dark and you're like, I don't know what's going on anymore up in here. This is kind of confusing. This is confusing. There should never be a space in your mind that gets to confusion. You know what they say? That God is not the author of confusion. That's the enemy of self right there. When you start to get confused. So now you're confused and you're like, what the fuck? What is going on? How do I get to this space where I'm loving on the person who ain't loving me back? I'm giving my all. I'm giving my energy, my time, my resources. I'm literally giving everything that I know to give. And that ain't enough. That ain't enough. I know we all in these situations where we just giving and giving and it ain't enough. A thought came to me today, and this is I'm a truth teller, so we gonna get it real up in here. But I was like, it's some hardcore shit. I was like, do you know some of us as women will give a man a threesome just because we want to please him to make him love us? You know how silly that is? Where you gotta give up who you are in all of these areas of yourself just to please somebody. How many of us are giving up versions of ourselves just to please somebody else who don't even love you? Because people should see you in the wholeness of who you are first. It's like people got all these expectations of you. And you looking at this person like, how the hell you expect all of this of me? But in the back of your mind, you looking at them like, but who the hell are you to expect that of me when I'm looking at you like, baby, you need some work. When you sitting here gotten them questioning your value, you got people telling you what you're not doing, what you ain't enough of, all of these things, and you accepting it. You accepting it. That's who you are now. You done got to the bottom of yourself. You done got to the bottom of who you are to where you allow somebody to tell you who you are instead of you knowing who you are. Uh, Absolutely not. Absolutely not. That's when you know it's time to stand on business on who you are because who the hell gonna pick you up but you? When you got people telling you who you are. You got people telling you who you are and how you are and yourself and how you treat people. And you like, you're like, damn, I thought I was a goddamn angel out here. And people treating me like I'm the damn devil. And that's when you know it's like, you know what? Something in this reality in my mind ain't making no damn sense. Something that I'm attracting, something that I'm doing and how I'm treating myself, it can't be making no sense. Because either I'm crazy, either I done lost my goddamn mind, or everybody around me is my enemy. You like, what the hell? What was really going on? Why ain't no what? And so you get to that point where it's like, nah, it's time. It's time. It's time for me to bust a move. It's time for me to do something different. I know y'all know, because you're sitting in it right now. You sitting around energy that's just trying to constantly pick at you. You trying to love it, but it ain't gonna love you back. It's not gonna love you back, not how you love. And I am a firm believer that you need to go for your love. You need to know what is love in the foundation of yourself. So you know when love shows up, you stand in love. We're not falling in love. We stand in it because you are just a reflection of that love. So you don't got to chase nothing. I told my dad, because my dad was talking to me, Pop Keys. He was talking to me how, you know, a brother would tell his woman he don't want her to go out to the club and she go out anyway. I said, you know, Dad, that's the problem right there. I said, men don't know how to choose their women anymore. They don't know how to choose a woman that's best for him. If your woman walk out that house and you told her, I don't want you going to the club, and she choose to go out anyway, and she comes back, then that basically made her the leader of that household. That made her the leader of the household because she chose to disrespect you. Not everybody is your person. This isn't about going to the club. This is about if a man has a certain level of principles and has a foundation within himself, and his woman is not willing to submit to that, then that's just simply not his woman. And then you keep chasing after this woman because she looks good. She got a fat ass. She cute. But then it's like she don't have no respect for you because she is looking for a man that can actually make her submit. Not in some physical control, slap her in the goddamn face, but has the power within himself to allow her to submit into her feminine energy. And it may not just be time for her to walk into that space of womanhood yet. Some women are immature in themselves. They're still learning themselves. Not all of us are at the same frequency. My dad told me, he said a young lady came up to him when he was about 20 years old, and she was trying to talk to my dad. And my dad knew her father. He was like, come to me in a few years when you mature, when you grow up. And he didn't want to touch her. He said, I chose to respect her because I knew her father. I didn't want to disrespect him. He didn't want to disrespect her. He said she came back years later and came back to him. And I thought that was so interesting because I'm like, how many men are willing to send a woman away knowing that it ain't her time for him yet? You ain't quite ready for me yet. You still got maturing to do. You over here trying to chase this woman, and it's like, nah, baby, once you walk into my path, it's time to walk. It ain't time for me to chase you off my path to see how to get you to align to me. No, baby, we got to be aligned together. We got to be aligned together. So I need us to recognize in the balance of feminine and masculine energy, what's for you will show up for you. If you only knew who you are, if you only recognized who you are. But most of us don't even know who we are. So we got to go through a journey from our childhood up into our adulthood where we got to constantly go through these missions of suffering until we figure out, okay, I've had enough suffering now. Now it's time to actually examine myself. Because when you were a child, you thought you were supposed to have everything. You just paying attention and flowing into any direction the wind blows. But now your adulthood self is saying, nah, time for me to sit the hell down. I don't actually like being outside around a bunch of people. I want to sit the hell in the house or I want to travel the world. This is no in between. That's just it. I don't want to do all of these things. As a woman, I say, I like certain things for myself. I like to actually travel the world. So why would you get a man who ain't got no passport and who don't like to move around? Who want to just sit in front of a television? The television is okay if that's what he likes to do. But that tells me that y'all not compatible. But you chose the person who likes to sit in front of a television when you're adventurous and you like to be on the move. You like to go see beauty inside the world. That's just who you are. You're two different people. But because you haven't did the introspection of yourself, you don't even know what you want. I always ask people, what do you want? What do you want? Do you even know what you want, or are you just walking into relationships like, oh, la di da di da, this person does this for me, and that feels good for me, and then that wears off, and you're like, but that's not what I really want. What do you want? What is your vision? What is your purpose? What foundation are you laying for yourself? What do you want for your children? What future do you want for your children? What do you want your home to look like after you die? If you die tomorrow, what foundation are you leaving for your family? What teachings? What mindset? What are you giving? What's what we here for? And that's why most of us can't lead each other, because we don't have any vision. No vision at all. And as a woman, it's like, it ain't you looking for a man to have vision, but it's like, what do you want for yourself? Are you confident in yourself? You looking for him to confirm who you are, but he can only do that if you have confirmed it within yourself. If you find you utterly beautiful, then you stand in that and you don't let nobody take that down. But the minute you allow a person to pull you down to their level and low and what they want, if you're a woman who like to be dressed up and sexy and sensual and who you are, then don't get with a man who trying to completely cover you up. If that's who you are. I'm not saying things that you're emulating on television because you want to look like a person. I'm talking about, there's women, there's many types of us. I like to be sexy. I like to dress a certain type of way. I like to cover up. I like to be all things sometimes. I like to be how I want to be. But I know that about myself, because I know I'm not going out into the world just trying to attract some fool. I know I can walk, I literally will go anywhere on this planet and I will feel secure in myself and protected, because that's who I am. That's who I am. That's what I know about myself. Everybody doesn't have that. Everybody doesn't know that about themselves. So for me, it's like, you might see me, my brothers might look at me like, why you got your breast out? I'm like, because I'm a grown woman and that's what I want to do. I've attracted people my whole life. I don't give a damn about these people. To me, everybody just look like robots in the Matrix. I don't want every man, so I don't care about how every man looks at me. I don't. But that's who I am, because I have a firm foundation in myself. I literally am a fucking warrior when it comes to how I am within myself. I am more on point in my mind than most men, because I grew up a certain type of way. I grew up very militant. I grew up knowing my identity. I grew up knowing my value. And then it took me the time to set that within myself to where I'm like, can't nobody shake me off my foundation. And the only man that can get me to submit into a certain thing is a man who can lead me truly, who can see me and lead me and respect me and love me and honor me how I want to be honored. And we will have that balance within each other. And so it truly is about knowing yourself. You have to know that a lot of us don't look at our own light. We don't even know our own light. You don't even know how big your light is. Your light be so big. Your light be so big. And here you got these dim ass light bulb ass energy around you. You just got flies around you trying to suck you up. Like somebody says, succubus ass energy. You don't know how big your light is because you're trying to look at your light from the outside with your eyes instead of within. You cannot look at a picture in yourself and say, I see my light, like how you can look at a physical person in your reality and see there. If you can see a person's light, then that means you hold that light within yourself. If you look at my brother 19 Keys and say that brother is a beautiful energy, he's a beautiful spirit, why do you think you can recognize it? You can recognize it because that's the same energy you have within yourself. But you rather put him on a pedestal instead of put your own self on a pedestal. Put you on a pedestal, put you on a firm foundation. Say, this is what I deserve. I wear my own crown. I don't need nobody to crown me. God crowned me when I came out of the canal. So recognize your own light. Recognize who you are. If you got to get into the delusional sense of your mind, because it ain't delusion, it's just architecting. Because what does an architect do but draw out the plans before they build the building, So what are you drawing out in your mind? What are you telling yourself? What are you speaking over yourself and affirming over yourself? I used to look at videos and things of people when they would look in the mirror and they would say certain things to themselves and be like, I want to do it, but I ain't never did it yet. Until I start really doing it and really looking at myself and really affirming myself. Like that shit really is the solution. It's really that simple. It really be the simplest things in the world that we got to do to actually grow ourselves. But it's almost like those things are made to look cheap because they're simple. They're free. They're free. All you got to do is work for yourself. They're the free things. That's why people chase expensive things because it seems out of reach, out of hands, outside of themselves. But the free stuff be the easy stuff. It'd be like, damn, you ain't even, how long, you ain't stretched in about 10 years. You don't even take walks outside. Like nature ain't a part of your human body. You don't even get out in the sun. You're scared of the sun, scared you're going to get darker. When the sun is literally radiating you from the inside, giving you vitamin D, you sun people, you melanin beings, and you don't want to get in the sun. It'd be like, oh, it's the simple stuff. Once I realized, I'm like, God damn, it's the simple stuff. It's the simple stuff that we got to do. It's as simple. It's as simple as breathing and paying attention to your breath. And I know everybody hears the same things because there's a frequency that has been out since we were children. But we look at it as though it's beyond ourselves. We didn't see people talk about just focus on your breath because breath is life. So if you feel like a dead energy, then all you got to do is breathe. All you got to do is go around plants. So you get that good oxygen and that flow within that energy. You got to go back into nature. You got to go back into the very essence of who you are because that's what you're made of. You're made up of the elements of the earth. So go around the elements of the earth. What is all this other stuff? Plastic, cheap shit. It's all energy, but it's like tap into the green, to the natural colors, not into the man-made stuff. Go into the God-made stuff. Go into the easy stuff. Focus on your breath. Focus on inhaling oxygen and speaking a thought and a word over yourself. Hell, you can listen to something on YouTube. You got every tool at your disposal. You got Audible. You got audio books where you can listen to books. You ain't even got to sit there and pick it up no more. You can let the information go into your subconscious mind. I got a list of books that I can give y'all right now that's going to put you on a healing a mission to heal where you're going to clean all of that gunk up out of your thoughts and out of your body because all you got to do is start to speak it over yourself. And baby, it's not a instant thing. It's not an instant thing. It's a work. It's a I want to clear up and clean all the atoms within my body. I want to energize the cells within my body. I want to make sure the blood is flowing within every organ in my body. My heart is pumping on a powerful rhythm that's for me. And I call that over myself. A lot of times you're not dealing with pain, you're dealing with the pain coming up out of you. And so it gets painful at that time, but it's not. It's not. It's not really pain. Sometimes it's the pain coming up. It's the poison coming up out of you. It feels painful, but it got to come out. So I'm sorry to tell you, sometimes the most painful moments in your life is because you're actually, it's coming up out of you. It's like, no, I don't want to be here no more. I don't want to do this no more. I want to deal with this energy. Can we please release this? And I know there's a frequency in the world where it's like, oh, I'm ready to release it. I'm ready to let it go. So if you want to move into your new life, your new version of you, your better version, then what you think you got to remove out of your life in order to become that? You got to see what's around you, what's in your reality. You got to see energy. It's time for you to look into energy. What kind of energy are you? Do we speak the same language? Do you hear me? Are you listening? Are you just there as a prop in my life? Are you a robotic energy who just, I'm telling you, go look back at the Matrix. They be really teaching y'all a lot of shit. Like, they telling you, it's like these people like droids. It's just some people who are here to regurgitate some negative energy back to you just for you to mirror and see yourself. But everybody plays a role. And that's why when you get down to the root of this thing, all it is a blessing. It's all a blessing because it's all coming from God. God is literally like, I'm just here to purify you. Y'all, I know this shit is heavy. Everybody like earth is ghetto and all the things. But once you get to a certain realm of yourself where you wake up happy and energized, because you realize I'm tired of overworking myself just because I'm telling myself that I'm being lazy. Some of y'all ain't never rested. Some of y'all don't know how to rest. Don't know how to just sit in the bed and close your eyes and don't know how to take a nap. Your brain won't even shut down. Your brain won't even do that thing where the it allows you to sleep at night. It allows you to sleep at night. Why do you think we got gold water? Why y'all think we created gold water? We created products to literally help you function in those areas that you don't know how to function in. Those areas where you lack in sleep. I remember after having a baby, I couldn't sleep for years. I was exhausted. My brain would literally not allow it to go into a dream state. It was like I'm losing it. And that's why I had a goddamn damn near breakdown because I'm like, I don't know how to rest my energetic body. It's been overused. We overusing ourselves. We're just allowing our energy to just be all over the place. But there's a space where, like I said, energy is not created or destroyed. So even when the energy seems negative in the mind, you can turn that negative into a positive because it's energy. And honestly, the bigger the negative it seems in your mind, the more effect it will have in the positive. Because you can take pain that you dealt with your entire life and you can look at it. You can examine it and say, you know what? It's time for me to look at this. I'm angry with this energy. I'm tired now. I'm tired of dealing with this. I'm tired of dealing with the people that come along with this trauma that was once in my life. I don't want this anymore. I want this out of my body. I want happiness now. I want to be able to just breathe. I want to not have anxiety. I want to be able to rest. I want to be a good mother. I want to I just want these things. And then you also, from there, you take it and you just put it into a space of gratitude. And you say, you know what, God, I'm grateful that you allowed me to even see that I had something there in the first place. And that I was able to take it from one side of my mind to the other. And now you have brought balance within my entire mind. And I guarantee you, when you go into your thoughts, when you go into the abyss, because you got to get deep into the core of these things. I'm talking about you got to go to your childhood. You got to go to your childhood and speak over yourself and have a conversation. Like, man, like if you had a messed up childhood, call it out. Yeah, that was fucked up. Like, if you had a terrible mother or a terrible father or terrible people around you, like, oh, this energy in my life, I'm over it. Because we all be dealing with some form of something that has torn us apart. But if you go inside of it and you actually recognize that it's there in the first place, because you got to recognize that it's there, y'all. You got to see it for what it is, because if you never see it, then you'll never expose it and you'll never bring it up to the surface. And so that will be your issue for 2024 if you don't accept the challenge of going inside of it now. And you got to do what's best for you, because my solution is not I'm only trying to give you a tool for what you need, but only your mind conceives it how it needs to go inside of yourself. I don't give people things just so they can say, oh, she sounds good and talks good. No. Over time, something is going to click. It might be 3 years from now, but one of you might have heard this conversation and said, damn, that's what that sister said. And then it clicks. And that thought that you heard today gonna click to that thought that you hear later. And you're like, damn, I could have did this the whole time. Let me practice this now. Let me put this into my life. And then you realize, damn, I keep saying damn because it'd be like, you can do 1 minute of just breathing And it can literally transform your whole day. Instead of going around waking up, moving, and then you're like, oh, I'm tired. I just want to sleep. Your body's sore, you're tired, you aching, and you in pain. And you couldn't give yourself 60 seconds. Hell, you can go sit on the toilet and sit there for 60 seconds. Go in the bathroom, shut the door if you can't get away from your kids. Just sit there and just breathe. Or just talk to yourself. Get in the shower and just breathe. Just talk to yourself. Say, God, can you wash away this energy in me? Can you allow me to see myself now? Because I'm tired, I'm aching, and I want what you want for me. I want you. God promised us a lot of things, so it's like I want the promise. I want the promised land. I want the heaven. I want everything. It's here. It's for me. I know this is my reality now. This is what I want for myself. And so when you look at it that way, you realize it's not that hard. It can be that simple. But every day you go without challenging yourself to grow and to want better for yourself, it's like an act of betrayal. Because you have to bring forth what you desire. But before you do that, you got to be grateful to God that He brought you forth, first and foremost. But then you got to see it. You got to cultivate a vision. But if we're walking around here with meaningless thoughts, just constantly with our head in social media, allowing our brain to just be scattered all over the place, we looking at Netflix all day. We in the computer, in the phones. We dealing with energy and people. We talking on the phone, having useless conversations, knowing that we tired of that conversation, knowing that we like, oh, I'm tired of hearing this shit. Like, knowing that we looking at somebody calling us like, please don't call me. I don't know about y'all, but that's me. I'd be like, I don't have time for it. If the people in my life are not calling me about the life that I want to architect, if they're not literally in my life to help me build that, then it's like, then you got to take a back seat right now. Because you got to get a little selfish. It'd be like, you know what? You don't align with who I am right now and where I want to be right now. So I'm going to have to put you in the back. Because what I want is, it comes with a certain feeling, a certain vibrant energy, and I don't want to be taken out of my vibrant energy. If I'm happy, don't pick up the phone to the girl or the man that you know gonna call you about some issues. When you know, you know. When you know you feeling great today and somebody just step into your life and say, I'm gonna shit all over it. And you just open up the door for it. We're not doing that no more. If you want greatness to exist in your life, then you got to pay attention to yourself, your energy cord, and how you're affected by people and energy all throughout your life. If you looking at movies and all they making you feel is fear, then you may need to turn it off. Cuz that's creating an energy inside of you. If you want to stay in a certain energy frequency, then you got to kind of put yourself in that realm. You can't put yourself in things that you know is going to be devastating to your body. If you know you're empathic energy and all you going around is fearful shit, or you sad and crying all the time, then it's like, you might not want to be around that because you can't handle that at this point. You got to be able to connect to yourself. Connect to what's good for you and what's not good for you. Sometimes you need a good goddamn cry. Sometimes you need to purge all of that out of you. Sometimes I watch a sad movie just so I can release it. But it's like, if it's going to put me in a sad energy where I'm depressed, then that's something totally different. And so I just want you to pay attention to your patterns, pay attention to the cycles, pay attention to the people. And one thing I know is that if you have children, your children will literally show you where you're neglecting yourself in, because your children will give you hell. They will literally make you do everything for them. And you like, how do I manifest a day where I'm just not so tired. I'm not so frustrated. I don't want to yell at my children. I don't want to beat them. I don't want to do any of that. I want to feel peace in myself. Let's get down to the real nitty gritty of peace. So your children will show you that you don't have peace because you're allowing your children to control you, for one. And you're thinking, two, I have to be this such and such type of parent because that's what the world telling me I need to be, instead of what you feel in yourself. And so it's like, no, let me relax. Let me get up and take my time. Let me teach and train my children so that they know that I need time for myself. I got to love on myself. I got to give back to me. Because what you give to your children is a reflection of who you are. And so you're teaching them who you are by simply being yourself. And so you break the cycle of what you learned in your childhood, watching the neglect of your own mother and your own father and how they were in this catastrophic hell. And you're like, I don't want that for myself. I don't need that for myself. I want to create a new heaven, a new reality. And so you got to take the time to first observe and recognize. Just take out the time to get quiet, to get still, and to look at it. And then take out the time to write it down. Get your thoughts out on paper. I'm telling you, you can release a lot of things. The more you start to release thoughts, every single day you can take something that flies into your mind. On a daily, somebody might call you with a certain type of tone. Somebody might call you with a certain type of energy. And instead of saying, you know what, I'm going to just bypass that thought, you say, you know what, I'm going to speak to that thought. I don't like that energy. I don't want to deal with that shit. Don't bring that to me. You can literally have a conversation with yourself and say, no, I'm not doing that. And then the next time you're going to get the confidence to be like, oh, don't bring this to me. You're going to actually say it to that person because now you're tired of energy just coming into you and you don't know what it's doing inside of your body. And so you got to get real gangster with yourself. You got to command this reality for yourself. You got to get like, you know what? No, y'all don't get to just come into my life and do anything. If they don't resonate with who you are, they don't necessarily have to be that close to you. Put them in a certain, look at it like the solar system. I told my sister the other day, I said, look at it as though it's the 9 planets in the solar system. There are some planets that are closer to the sun than others. There are some planets that's all the way Neptune. Put people in fucking Neptune if you have to. Put their asses all the way over there because they feel ice cold in your reality. And those who you want closer to you, you allow to be in your life. Okay? But you are that earth. Make sure you the one. You the one. You the one first. You the one with all the special powers first. You the one who are the most beautiful first. You are the one. You are the one. That's just gotta be your truth. I don't care how beautiful a person is. You gotta be the one first. Just like my brother 19 said, 19 just means one. It's you gotta be the one. In the midst of all the ones. It's like everybody can be a one, but you and your world gotta be the one. So, like, nah, I'm the one. And then I place you based off of how you feel in my reality and if you allowing me to flow in my purpose. Or else, no, we send your ass to Neptune and Uranus over there because I ain't got time for it. And some of y'all can go into a whole new galaxy because ain't nobody got time for that. Some of y'all can go into a whole new dimension. You can light travel your ass somewhere else because you don't belong here no more. And so that's how you got to look at your universe. You got to stand firm in yourself. You got to be in your vortex and be like, nah, but up in here, we solid. Up in here, I know what I want. Up in here, I know what I'm not going to deal with. Up in here, my peace is everything. And so, that's where we at. That's where we at. If y'all see me looking at this other screen, it's because I'm looking at my computer screen, looking at y'all comments. And I'm just so a believer of you gotta be that one. Like, I remember one year I just looked at the Matrix movies. I'm like, this is really speaking to me all over again because it's really teaching you gotta be that one. And even when his woman came into his life, she knew. She was like, I was oracle that you was my husband. I knew. it's a certain destiny. It was like, oh, baby, as soon as you know, we walking in our path. Ain't nobody got time to be guessing. We ain't got time to be all over the place with this. We ain't got time to be guessing who we are no more. If you still guessing, it's gonna be a difficult year. If you still challenging yourself to figure out who's best for you in your reality, go to God. Say, God, I need your help. I need your help now. Because I'm at a standstill. I'm at a loss. I don't know what to do. I don't know how to move energy away from me. I'm insecure in myself. I'm impatient. I don't know. I lack boundaries. And I just want to do better. I want to be stronger for me. I want my heart to be stronger. I want my head to not be so overwhelmed. My head one time was feeling like I had a balloon, like it was attached to it. And it was like, I can't get the thoughts to calm down. I can't get my heart and my head to be in balance. Because for me, I will put my energy and my love into everybody else. And it's like, no, you got to get, God will literally shut out the world for you. Be like, no, it's okay if you don't go outside and go talk to the world and deal with people, because I need you to actually nurture yourself right now. I need you to get to you. If my dad said something in his life, he was like, what if you sat in a dark room for days at a time with no phone, no TV, nobody? Who would you be? And a thought came across my mind. I'm like, who would you be if you took the phones away for one, took the TV away, and you just had to sit there and figure out no books, no nothing. And you have to sit there alone in yourself. Could your mind even handle it? Would you know how to go about your day? Would you know how to meditate and breathe and work out and just be in yourself without losing your shit? Why are you losing it? Why do you need something outside of you to distract you? And that's something that you should sit on and ask yourself, can I sit alone? Can I go inside myself? Because that's the best way to go into yourself, is to sit alone in yourself, not reach for something. Because everything in this universe is a part of us already. So it's like, go inside of yourself. You can literally, you got the TV already in your head. You can have a whole goddamn movie up in your head, playing your head, just by your imagination. You can soothe yourself. You can go to God. You pray, write the best book of your life just by sitting still for a day. Just by fasting or emptying out your body, because you start to clear your energy field and be like, okay, I can do this. I can clear up myself. But we want things to control us. We want programs to be all up in our head. You know how many images and videos and things you see a day going through TikTok and Instagram and YouTube and all of these things, and how many program thoughts that come into your mind, and why you can't seem to focus. You can't focus now. You can't focus now. And so it's time to get down to the root of you. And I don't know if any of you know, and I'm always gonna rep my brother, because it'd be like, he really puts time and effort into the people. And I know he'd been on a certain journey, because like the Goldwater brand, he literally created a product to get you to open up your mind. Like the colloidal gold literally will activate the pineal gland, and it'll increase serotonin in the brain, and it'll increase melatonin at night so you can sleep. So it's like you have the tools and the resources to literally open up yourself, because a lot of us are blocked. A lot of us are blocked. A lot of us are literally blocked and cannot think our way through this to save our lives. But you got to get intentional with you now. Why do you think we put smart moss on the market? Because I was like, as a woman who was a mother, I'm like, I can't focus. I'm tired and my brain is not doing that thing. I feel blocked. And so challenge yourself to treat yourself. Challenge yourself to shut out the world and to go within. Challenge yourself to activate your brain, activate your body, get your immune system on point. connect to what's happening inside of you so you can expand yourself, because it's time for expansion. And that only works if you want to expand. If you're intentional about who you are. I'm intentional. I'm very intentional. I'm like, oh no, I gotta take my gold water. I gotta take my green drinks every day. I got to start eating more balanced in my meals. I have to cut out and down sugar. I gotta start researching what's best for me. I've known my whole life certain things that's best for me, and it'd be like, girl, stop playing with yourself. Stop playing with yourself. I wanted to get my skin more on point, so I started a company where my sisters designed a product to where I'm like, it took all the chemicals and took all the crap out of it. I know I'm lazy when it comes to myself because I've been such a tomboyish ass female my whole life because I got 7 brothers. So I was raised a little rough. And I said, you know what? I'm ready to be consistent with myself. So I started using the product and I'm like, oh shit, my skin is glowing up. I started speaking over my skin. I said, oh, I literally speak over myself. I kid you not. I'd be like, oh, you're going to be, I said, every year you're going to look younger in yourself. You're going to glow up. You're going to look like the sun. You're going to be bright. You're going to be shining. You're going to be who you need to be for yourself. And so I realized the connection to my journey and what my brother was doing because I'm like, oh, that's why he got the crowns, because he's trying to get you to represent yourself. He's trying to get you to represent yourself. The crowns just represent sun, moon, and stars, which is you. You, the universe. You, the universe. You are the crown. So he's trying to get you to represent a reflection of your power. And with the gold water, he's trying to get you to take in your power, take in your energy, put it inside of your body so you can expand yourself. And so we got to get to, hold on, y'all. We got to get to a point where we realize that I have to honor myself because nobody else gonna honor me. Nobody gonna honor you how you want to be honored. Nobody gonna give you that love that you want for yourself. I guarantee you. You have to stand on business in yourself. You have to stand in a reality where it's just you versus you, and you give yourself all the things that you want from other people. I know you want that hug. I know. I want a hug too. Okay? I want a big, fat, juicy hug from a man who's masculine, who just wants to love on me. I want that hug too. But I literally give myself hugs. I feel my own skin and embrace myself. I'll feel my body and embrace myself. Because if the hug isn't here in the physical, then I got to feel like I'm getting hugged every day. I got to talk to God and just be like, I'm grateful that you woke me up today. I'm grateful that you kept me protected. I'm such in a state of gratitude that I get to wake up. I get to smile. I have my body. No limbs are missing. I got my energy. Nobody's draining me. I got to eat good today. I got to take a walk. I got to observe nature. I got to see somebody smile. I got to give somebody something, you know? And so that's what I realized, and that's why I went live today, because I said I wanna give, I wanna serve now. I wanna serve. I've got myself to a point where I could serve without feeling diminished, without feeling like my energy was being drained. And so I said I wanted to serve. So I challenged myself to go live. And I challenged myself to, hold on, yeah. I challenged myself to just do something that I haven't done in a long time, because I didn't want to deal with imposter syndrome. I didn't want to deal with the energy of telling myself I'm not good enough for the people. I'm not good enough to be heard. I'm not good enough for someone to listen to me. Everybody has a voice in whatever way that comes through. But I know my voice. I've been knowing my voice my whole life. But I had to work up and build up the foundation of myself in order to give it. Because as a woman, once you know your power, you know that your voice is everything. Who you are, your representation, how men look at you. I want to be able to be a strong representation for every woman on earth. towards like you can see yourself in me in whatever way, and I'm helping to guide you to just connect to yourself. I want men to see how they want their woman to come, what form they want her to come in, how they want their daughters to be raised up, how I want them to see the mothering that they never got from their mother. I wanted them to see a reflection of the wife that they don't have, to so they can at least get a glimpse of something within themselves to say, okay, that's a reflection of who I am. I want a energy that's, you know, that's in alignment like that, or at least in her mind a certain type of way. So I just took my time to be a reflection. Um, I wanted to I wanted to give y'all just the gift of the coupon for Gold Water and Crown Z and my new company Glow, because everything we do is in alignment for people. Like, Gold Water is literally just for a family. It's family time. It's family time right now. It's time for you to build your immune system and not be out here sick. It's time for you to work on your mind and to create room in your mind so you can grow yourself and expand yourself. It's time for you to get you some rest every single day. I mean, everything we do and everything that we created as a family is just to give to people so that they can expand their own family. And as you're expanding your family, trust and believe we're working on ours too. Because it ain't nothing about us perfect. You might think, oh, that's 19 Key's sister. She got a beautiful voice. Oh, they got a perfect family. Absolutely not. We don't. We struggling just like y'all. But we're striving and we're working and we're growing. But we're not perfect. I see 111. 111 people and 111 on the board. So it must be a message in that. But I'm going to put the websites on here in case you don't know, because y'all really got to represent something that's for you. You got to represent an energy that wants you to grow. You can't represent something that's not in alignment with you. You can't represent something that goes against who you are. We partake in things every single day. Every single day, we're partaking in something that is not in alignment with us. We can buy some chips from the store for $2, and all it's going to do is garbage up your body and make you feel like crap. And then you tired and you sleepy and you ain't got no energy. So when you make investments into yourself, this is so much bigger. And that's the hardest thing for us to do, is to make investments into ourselves. I don't know why that is, but you got to challenge yourself with the thought of asking yourself, why is it so hard for me to make an investment into myself and to do something for myself? But I'll go spend that money on somebody else or on my child or do something. And you be like, damn, I ain't made no investment into myself. Do I believe in myself? Because you got to believe in yourself. Um, you just got to believe in yourself. And if you want to transform, beloved, you gotta put work in. You got to put that work in. You got to put that work in. This work don't come easy. This work don't come. It's a gradual process, and it's a day by day, and it's a mindset, and it's an intentional mindset, so that when you wake up, you say, I want to have a good day. I want to have an extraordinary day. I want to have a day where I'm smiling, that if I go outside, I meet somebody where there's just a beautiful energy. I want to have a day where I feel grounded in myself. I want to have a day where I choose to eat well, or I choose to at least put something in my body that I know is going to nourish me and nurture me. I want to have a good day. So you get intentional. You get intentional with who you are. You get intentional. Hold on. And you guys, I want you guys, if you guys want to, because I just restarted my social media over and it's a little dry. If you want to follow me on Instagram, YouTube, I do have my own YouTube page that I'm still, trying to stay consistent in. Y'all know it's life is hard, but I do have videos on there. You can follow me at, I'm about to post it on the banner on the screen, for Umisa. That is my handle for Instagram, YouTube, and TikTok. Like, and so, hold on. So, for Unisa is my Instagram, YouTube, and TikTok. And for Gold, Water, and Crown Z, not Glow, but I gave you guys a coupon code for Unisa 25. It's 25% off because they got sales going on right now. But that code right there gonna last you forever. So when them sales go off and you want to shop again, just remember that code. Put it in your phone because you can go back to it and shop. Because I gotta rep the family business. I gotta do what I gotta do. But my own personal business, Glow. And I gave y'all the wrong goddamn handle for my own business. See, I'm struggling over here, y'all. I'm struggling trying to type this up as I'm on social media. I'm just here to take us to new levels because I take these things consistently. I'm not going to lie to you. I take Gold Water. I really love me some Smart Moss because I'm a woman and I've had 2 children and I've used a lot of energy in my body. And I would wake up with brain fog. And this is for people who run businesses, people who have super busy schedules, people who work a lot, who need energy. And you just need energy to keep yourself kind of going, to think, to read a book, to focus. I take my Smart Moss, and I don't know. Some people take one, but I be taking like 2 or 3 because, that's just me. And I take my Gold Water, and I take them because I realized the effect it had on my mind. Like there's times where I told y'all a couple years ago, I was about to lose my shit. So I was like, And then when I really, because my brother always say, when you're close to family, you close to the light, you don't really be paying attention. And that's real. So I started paying attention to my brother and the things that he put out, like his books. And I realized how much we think so much alike. And I realized everything that he put out was literally for me. Like, it was like, damn, you really put this out on some God level stuff. It was like, you put this out for me so I can expand and grow. And I'm just passing the message along that we just here to expand and grow. It's that time. It's that season. And that's just what it is. So you guys can screenshot the screen so you can have that code. And don't forget to follow me on social media because it's a little dry. I had to start over my page because I wanted to let everything go. I wanted to literally let everything go. I said, you know what? I don't want to be attached to this old energy anymore. The people who see me gonna see me. I don't care if you follow me. I don't. I just want you to tap into the message. I don't care if you just not into all of that stuff. I'm just not into. I want you to get to a space where you believe in yourself, where you just take what I say and it just resonates in who you are. And so that's it. That's all there is to it. Because hold on, y'all. Because you have to be the architect of your reality. That's 2024. If you allowing somebody or you looking for somebody to do it for you, it's not gonna happen. If you married right now, and I gotta say this to ladies, if you married right now and you looking for that man to take you around the world or to take you on your travels and to take you to do certain things, he not gonna do it. Because you a woman in your own self. You have your own power. You got to do things for yourself. You got to stand up for yourself. You got to know who you are. You got to know who you are. And if you don't know who you are, you're going to be constantly going through a trial where you have to figure out who you are. Because that's just the reality of what's happening right now. And I'm going to continue to keep doing podcasts on here. Sometimes I'm a little random. Sometimes I just do it when I know I got the time and energy to do it. I'm a businesswoman. I'm a single mother now, and I got responsibilities. But my responsibility is to myself first. And so But now I'm making it my mission to just give and to love on the people and just pray that that energy is reciprocated back to me, because I don't feel like I'm being drained anymore. I've literally alleviated all anything that's going to drain me. It ain't happening. It ain't happening no more. My boundary's so clear that I'm like, nah, it ain't happening no more. So get your boundaries up. Get your boundaries up. Get your power up. Recognize yourself. Recognize what you need for yourself and stand on business. That's my new line. My dad be like, take over time. And I'm like, yeah, stand on business. Stand on who you are. Stand in your love. Ain't no more falling. It ain't no more none of that. It's stand on it. Be true to who you are. You have a purpose every single day of your life. And once you recognize your purpose is constantly growing yourself and evolving, then what else is there to it? Be grateful for what you have. Be grateful for who you are. Be grateful. And can't nobody take that away from you. Can't nobody take that away from you. So shop with us, support, because this takes a lot to put together and to create and cultivate. And I'm not going to be here if I don't have the time for it. But, if we show each other love and reciprocate, then that's cool. But I love y'all, and I hope y'all have a really good night tonight, and y'all can take this and share this with your family if it resonated with you. And I hope to see you guys soon, because I might just pop up here every day if I feel like it. And if I don't, you might not see me for a month. Who knows? It's just life. So peace and blessings. Peace and blessings, y'all. It's time, like my father said, to rebuild, to refocus, to restructure, to start with a firmer foundation, and to just get in alignment to ourselves and what we truly desire and what we truly want, because it's takeover time, for real. Takeover time. Like, it's takeover time. For real. Let's get into it. Peace. Assalamu alaikum.